Hello, my name is Robert Pound and I'm a product technologist for Quest. In this video, we're going to talk about the pivot grid in Toad Data Point and how you can use it to summarize your data. So first off, we need to figure out how to get to the pivot grid. So if you have a result set in either the editor or a query builder, you can come to Pivot and Chart. This is the pivot grid. You can also get to it by right-clicking on an individual item and choosing pivot grid, or from the result set, if you want to send this directly to a pivot grid, you can choose send to and pivot grid, and it'll open up a new tab with just the pivot grid. So first things first, if you want to edit the query, you can come to the right, and for instance here I have a simple select statement, but if you wanted to modify it, you could. You can also open up files from here if you wanted to add in a file, and you can run it as you're testing to see what the results are, and you can format it as well. And the field area to the right, so this is where all your data is, and you have your field areas here at the bottom. So this may look familiar if you're used to using Excel pivot grids. This has the same look and feel. Speaking of look and feel, if you want to change the field area, you can change it to these different styles depending on your resolution. Let me go ahead and change it back to the default. And to actually get data into the pivot, you can drop it into the table itself or into the field areas. So for instance, if I wanted to choose date at the top, I could put that here. And then I could drop in item name for the row, and we'll just go ahead and choose quantity for the actual data area. And you can choose additional filters as well. So in this case, I'm going to choose the warehouse ID for a filter. You can filter any of the data in the table as well. So for instance, if I wanted to filter the rows, I could come up to this filter icon in the upper right and deselect rows that I didn't want to see in my data, similar to the column and the warehouse ID. You can also change the order by just clicking on the item. And for the data, you can filter it and it will bring up a histogram of the actual data. So in this case, I want to filter, let's say, between 5 and 100. And it's going to show me on the histogram where the data lies, so I can drag the filter as well. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that filter as well. And lastly, you can also change the filter to a radio button. So for the warehouse ID, which is not part of the actual table, if I wanted to filter on an individual warehouse in this case, I could come here and click on it and it will update the data set. So as for the toolbar, there's a refresh. You have several different export options if you wanted to export this out, Excel, CSV, HTML. You can also publish either the grid or the file itself. You can also publish the grid to your local storage. You have the ability to toggle the visuals at the bottom and create calculated columns. And finally, let's go ahead and save this. It's going to save it as a type pivot grid. And let's just do demo 1. And when I save it, it's going to ask me whether I want to save the data as well. So when this file is being saved, it's actually saving the connection information and the query as well. So if I want to get an updated version, I will select no. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you out. For more information on this feature or other features, you can check out the Toad help file. It has a wide range of information and tutorials. You can also go to www.toadworld.com to check out the community-driven innovation going on there. For more information on this product, you can visit www.quest.com/products/Toad Data Point. Thank you and have a great day.